Welcome to the YouTube channel Farming Indoors. Today's video will be about the Virginia tobacco that I'm growing. I have a temperature and humidity controlled ventilation fan in here. Here's the sensor that detects humidity and temperature and relays that to the controller. This controller allows you to set the parameters that you want for your growing environment. There's actually a Bluetooth app that connects to this controller, so I can use my phone to set the parameters that I want. Yeah, I've been using this 3x3 tent now for probably over a year. I just harvested the burley tobacco, which is hanging up and drying, using this 300 watt LED. And these are the Virginia tobacco plants, which I transplanted into 7-gallon pots a couple of weeks ago. I used the app on my phone that measures light intensity coming from this light, and I just checked it, and I have a daily light integral of about probably 50, which is pretty good. Full sun outside would be maybe more like 60 or 70. And my ppfd, which is a measure of photons coming from the light, which sort of gives you a range or an idea of how much light you're getting. I just checked it about 5 minutes ago, and I had a ppfd of about 900 to 1,000, which is pretty good, pretty high, lots of light. I decided to move the light up a couple of inches, and then in a few days I'll check it as the plants grow closer to the light and make sure that they're getting enough light but not too much. Tobacco can grow in full sun year-round, and so there's really not an issue of having too much light. These plants are doing very well. Looking really healthy. And so I transplanted these into these 7-gallon pots, and what I had been doing in the past was removing all the soil, amending it, putting it all back in there, and transplanting the tobacco. What I've done this time is I used these 7-gallon pots to grow the burley. So what I did is, when it was time to harvest the burley, I cut the whole plant down. And then I took a tool and removed most of the root system from the burley. And then the void that was left in here, I filled this up with compost that I've been making to amend the soil. And I've got a pretty good organic soil mixture here now. I've got some perlite in here for drainage. I added a little bit of peat moss to get a little bit better drainage. But as you can see, this is the old root system from the burley, which is still in here. But basically that's just in the bottom of the pot. The top of the pot was all cleaned out, and like I said, I added some more compost that I've been making. And these plants are doing great. I've got the watering system set up here, which is just a bunch of irrigation drippers. I think they're rated for 3 gallons per hour. But I don't have them set up to a pressurized system. There's one for each pot. It comes down here, and then I've got a shut-off valve to turn it on and off. I just turn this on, and then hopefully you can see it in the video, I've got water coming out. And once the water has run through the pot and starts to come out the bottom, then I know it's time to turn it off. But there's nothing wrong with these roots being in here. They're just basically going to rot. They're starting to rot already. They don't affect the growth of the Virginia tobacco. And hopefully these will get big. This will be my first crop of Virginia with the 300 watt light instead of the 150. So hoping these will get at least 4 feet tall. And these leaves should get pretty big. The other thing I'll mention is that connected to this line, which comes outside of the tent, I've got a 5-gallon bucket with a bulkhead fitting. And basically that's my reservoir for watering the plants. I'll add some liquid fertilizer to the water. And then the other benefit is that with the water in the reservoir sitting there, if there's too much chlorine in it, it'll sort of off gas. But I've done some research and I've found that a normal amount of chlorine in tap water isn't going to hurt the plants at all. And the tap water where I live is fairly soft. It's pretty good water for growing plants. And of course it's coming from a reservoir, so there will be trace elements of calcium and other nutrients that the plant can use. So I think that's it for this video. I'll do another one maybe in a couple of weeks to show the progress of the growth. And possibly in the future I'll do a video on how the burley tobacco, the previous crop, is doing, maybe how much tobacco I got from that crop, and the curing process, and maybe some other interesting bits of information that I'll do in a future video. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave a comment in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to, and thanks for watching.